a lot of these guys, the first thing they want to do is outsource the sales process or make that. And I'm like, why is the sales process stressing you out? And why do you have anxiety around the sales process? And in my opinion, it's very similar to dating, where anxiety a lot of times just comes from not knowing what to do and feeling out of control. So just like when you have a date, you're really excited, you're not sure if the girl likes you or whatever. And then when you're in your 30s and you've been on a bunch of dates with a bunch of girls that like you, you're still like, you still feel a little bit of the butterflies, but it's almost nothing. And it's because you sort of know what to do. You're like trying to find a long-term relationship or a wife or whatever, and you sort of know what to look for and you know what to do. So the anxiety's kind of gone. A lot of times the anxiety comes from just not understanding how people buy and how a good sales process should work. If once you understand the sales process and you understand other human beings, you're not stressed out about it because you understand it. So a lot of times people get anxiety, they think it's something they have to push through. And I'm like, sure, but the only reason you have anxiety is because you don't understand it. So just work with a coach or a consultant like me who understands it, and I'll explain it to you. And there's different ways that you can sell. So we have another video that's coming up that's going to talk about like different personality types and their strengths and weaknesses and how each one of them can sell, and just learn what type works for you. And you could create a sales process that works for everybody else, and you just sell that way. But it's like, it just comes from not knowing what to do, because we don't teach dating. We don't teach like, okay, wear this and go here and say this. Dating and sales is, there's just a formula, and if you know what the formula is, you just follow the formula. Good sales, when it's done well, is like a boring kind of fun. So what do I mean when I say a boring kind of fun? You know, when you go to the gym or you're like running, you go running every morning or something, and people are like, well, how do you go to the gym every day? Don't you get bored? And you're like, yeah, but it's kind of fun. Like it should feel like that. That feeling when you're like good at something and it's flowing, and it's kind of boring and interesting at the same time, because you feel the progress. With every interaction, you're getting closer to your goals. That's the focus of a good sales process. Sales is the one thing in life that you can't opt out of. It's the one thing in life that you must. It's the game that you must play. Every other game in life you can decide not to play, but going to the gym is sales. Getting a wife, husband is sales. Telling your boss like, hey, I think I should get a raise is sales. And engineering and working on the products you want to work on is sales. So it's the one game that you have to play. And the better you get at it, the easier all the other games become, because as long as you're dealing with human beings, sales will work. And you're dealing with human beings almost all the time. So maybe in the future it'll be AI selling each other, but for now, most of what you're doing is talking to a human. And that's why sales works, including you. A lot of times the person you have to sell is yourself. When a lot of people go into sales, they are looking for the magic words, like the magic thing to say, like sort of, they almost like they want to cast a magic spell on the other person. And they want to manipulate someone into giving them what they want, whether it's in dating, whether it's in business, whether it's in life. And what you discover in your process of learning influence and learning persuasion and learning psychology is reality is one. There's one reality, and we only see our perspective. So the better we are at just living our own life, the more persuasive we naturally become. If you're in good shape and you're in a good place financially and you have good, loving relationships in your life, sales is going to be very easy for you. And when all of those things are a mess and you're trying to sell, you're going to really struggle. And everything is relative. So for a lot of people, success means a $10 million mansion and a Ferrari and an Instagram model. But a lot of those people are, I'm in Miami, I see a lot of them. They don't necessarily have the life that you want. For someone else, maybe they have a more modest apartment, but they have enough money to live for 30 years. And the person who has enough money to live for 30 years on sales calls is much more relaxed and much more open, and they have space for the other person. What you want to do is become the person who is good at life. And to become the person who is good at life is usually not an IQ test. It's more like we know what we need to do, but how do we do it consistently? So we know, for example, to lose weight, you take the amount of calories, you take the amount of pounds you want to weigh, multiply it by 13, eat that much. That's your calories for the day. And then you walk 10,000 steps, 20,000 steps a day. That's all you have to do. But most people don't do it. And it's the same thing with everything. So when you learn how to sell yourself, and the things that work on other people work the same as you, social proof, persuade, like all the different things, reciprocity, halo effect, you buy nicer clothes for the gym, and then your workouts get better, right? There's a bunch of little principles that work. You naturally get better at selling other people because what works on you works on them, because we're both people. Just like dark magic, if you sell something that you don't believe in, the only person that you're sabotaging is you long term, because you're just getting better and better at lying to you. And there's a lot of consequences that God gives to people who lie to themselves, but the biggest one is you don't trust yourself anymore. And then it's hard to live a life where you don't trust yourself because you can't get yourself to do anything because you don't believe you. So, and I've seen plenty of salespeople. I had a friend who was very good at sales, and he was selling an offer that wasn't very good. And I told him, like, I got out, you should get out. But he was making so much money living in Thailand, and the company blew up anyway. And now he's still living in Thailand on his savings. He never made the money back. Like, and I was like, it was such a waste of talent. But it's very normal to see people sell their souls for money. And in sales, I think that it's a big mistake because whenever you do something that's against the other person's best interest for your own sake, I think there's a weight that you have to carry around your neck. And I don't think the price is worth it. And I've seen a lot of people really suffer because they made bad choices. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you want more advice from 22 years of sales and running seven-figure businesses and coaching hundreds of agency owners and stuff like that, just obviously subscribe. And if there's any question you need specifically answered, please reach out.